Hello, everyone. So I wanted to do do a reading of the Holy Bible. Um, I'm very nervous. I'm not very good at reading. Never was. Um, However, I do want to maybe bridge some connections. Maybe have a video for myself to go over. Um, I don't know. It just felt like something I needed to do. And plus, if my friends and family ever need me, um, I'll have some videos to be able to find some of my thoughts. um, some of my thinkings and bridges. So I just kind of wanted to, yeah, start, maybe go over a few, page by page, I guess. I don't know. Maybe other people can jazz their thoughts in the comments, and maybe we'll all be able to figure this out together. I mean, we're all just floating on this rock together, aren't we? So, but let's start off. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, so if you want some professional, please go find another channel. I'm no professional. I'm just a tinfoil hat internet dweller. Um, that yeah, that believes he's a phoenix bird. No, I'm kidding. That's my identification. It's a phoenix bird. uh, Capital G-O-D. I'm just playing. But anyways, so I just kind of, um, yeah. As I read this, I've found a lot of connections with a lot of other religions and other conspiracy theories and other occult knowledge that I have accumulated over the years. Um, Finally, coming back and reading this has been very interesting. I'm able to see the symbolism in this rather than the looking at everything so literally. Just due to my experience of learning all these occult conspiracy theory things and just of the many different religious books I have read over the years, um, I just feel like I'm able to bridge a few connections, and I don't know, I just want to talk my thoughts too. So, um, we'll start off with, of course, Genesis, um, chapter 1. So, I'll try to do maybe a chapter at first. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll continue from there. Um, Maybe I'll jump around. I don't know how this is going to go. Alrighty, so in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now, let's go over this a little bit here. So, and the earth was without form and void. So, meaning basically everything was dark. Everything was nothingness. There was nothingness. I always found it interesting and bridged the connection with we start with nothingness, but we get something, and that's just how the universe works. Um, that's just like one of the fundamental laws. Same as like if you've ever looked at like how how electricity can flow. It flows. Sometimes the electrons can flow out of the negative and flow all the way back through the positive. Um, because that's the electrons that are coming out of the negative don't have their light. They don't have anything. So they're gonna flow that direction to grab stuff, to grab energy as they go. Um, so I've always kind of like bridged it that way, that we you start with a blank nothingness, a blank page, but the blank page is just the blank. It just is. There's no nothing. And then from nothing, we get something. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. Like I said, it was on the face of the deep, so it was just, it was the darkness. And then the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, meaning that the darkness, people don't take it so literally. The waters, and to me, mean the waves, because waters, all water is just essentially a wave, and waves are everything. Waves are the essential things of life. I mean, you spend your whole school curriculum, I don't know how to say it right now. Your school years learning math and how to basically measure the wave. It's literally all you do. You start learning the basics, then you start learning how to measure slopes, geometry, areas, and then it's essentially just learning to read the waves. Graphs, statistics, waves. That's all they are. Everything's just a wave. Protons, light, everything moves waves. Physics moves waves. Everything's waves. So to me, when they say that that the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, meaning that the Spirit of God moved along that line of just existence on the wave. It just rode the wave. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And this is where, that's the Big Bang. People are like, oh, you either choose one or the other. I mean, you can have both. You can have our cake and eat it too, It says right here, let there be light. Boom, boom, boom. There's light. Transistor went from 0 to 1, on to off to on, we got something now. We got light. We got the other half now. And that's great. That's what we needed. That's what we wanted. Because you know how boring it gets in the dark. Come on. It's pretty lonely. It gets pretty boring. And maybe having a little friend there to brighten up the day or the night would be kind of nice. And that's all it is. That's all it is. God didn't want to be lonely, so we created a friend to make us not so lonely. And then the two of us danced around and created more friends and family and so on and so forth. And boom, here we are. We're floating on this rock in space. And it's amazing. So, but let's continue. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Alrighty. Let's see. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. There we go. We got the two. We got the yin. We got the yang. We got the what goes up must come down. We got as above, as below, as within, as without. So, I mean, there's got to be a little bit of a duality. It helps the spin. That's all it does. Is it helps the magnetic force of the two pulling each other in a spiral direction, and that's the one becoming two becoming 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc., etc., etc. You know how to count, right? But yeah, essentially, that's that's where we're at. Let me see. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. So there, it's just kind of basically telling we the dualities, the two different, and in the evening and in the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters," meaning we have it in between the waters, which to me almost means like, well, let me read this last part. And let it divide the waters from the waters. And you're like, what do you mean? Well, we're back to talk about waves, okay? So think about it this way. Think about you got two favorite channels on the radio station, right? One's over here, one's over there, right? You got I don't know, 94.9, and then you got your other favorite station is like 107.1 or something, right? Okay. Well, there's a dividing right there, you know what I mean, between the two different frequencies. So, you know, it, to go to like the higher frequencies, you're gonna have to go through and change, and the waves are different. So there's something in the midst of it. There's something in the middle. You know, there's a dividing. You know, it's a 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 kind of thing. You know, it's a like the as above as below. There's like that duality that keeps the magnetism and keeps the life rolling. You know, so it's all it's saying is that that the ferment in the midst of the waters, which, I mean, we have the ferment in the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So we have to divide the two different frequencies between like lower lower mind sense to angelic Christ consciousness mindset. There's a different frequencies, and that's all it's saying is that um, that there's levels to it, and that God's just splitting everything up in levels so that you can climb the ladder. You know what I mean? Climb the stairway to heaven, almost essentially. Thanks for that song. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. But however, let's see. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from which the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And like I said, that's just reiterating back to the splitting of the heavens from the earth, from the hells to the so on and so forth, down and up the ladder, you know. Down and up the mountain, you know. It's just, it goes back to the wave. The wave has to move up and down, up and down, up and down. And the dividing is just, is how God does math, and how it sees it's the same concept of how we do math. It's the dividing principle, so we can measure things, so we can do the equation, so the equation can blah, 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 and then we put it all together. You know, it's why they always say, like, God speaks in mathematics and whatnot. So, but it's true, it's all there, you know. It says right here, I mean, in the fucking book. You know, not saying this is the almighty book, but enough dots create a line, and this is a good dot. This is a really good dot right here. It's got a lot of good information you can get from, and you could restart almost civilization with this book right here. And that's why it's become one of my favorites, I almost feel like. But anyways, I'm starting to get off. Let me get back to it. Alrighty. And God called the firmament heaven. And then in the evening and the morning were the second day. Meaning like we you know, another way of looking like this is the first day, you know, say like we're nothingness, so we're single celled, and then we second day, or the first day, we blip into two, and then, you know, so on and so forth. We the two becomes, you know, four, and then so on and so forth. But I always have a feeling like when we're talking about the days, that we're talking about like almost the conception of like a species itself dividing and recreating itself, you know, into becoming more, so that we're never alone, and it's just the basic wiring of the existence itself. Reproduction. I mean, that's like, it's like the main core of all beings that roam across this planet and exist in this life itself, is to reproduce. You look at everything from plants to animals to, I mean, everything. That's pretty much your number one goal, is just to reproduce. It's not go to work. I'll tell you that much. It's not go to work. It's just we're just meant to do some simple things. We're meant to party. We were meant to have fun. We were meant to make babies. We were meant to gather some knowledge across the way. So, but yeah. Let's see. Alrighty, and God said, let the waters under the heavens, so you got the heavens and we got the waters which we were at, be gathered together onto one place, earth, and let that dry land appear, and which it did. We got a rock. Now we're floating on. Just got water in one place. It's great. And so when you put two building blocks together, you can usually build a little more few from there. And so God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. So we got the land, we got seas. Now you know what they're called. Now we have some names for them. Now we work with a little more with the equations and stuff. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And this one kind of threw me for a loop, because this one, it hit me in a different way of like saying that like the seed comes from the earth. Mother Earth gives us this like seed, in which the seed eventually becomes grass, which becomes herb, which becomes another seed, and then it becomes fruit tree yielding fruit, and then and it's after his kind. Meaning, I feel like we are one and the same as a seed. As we are a product of the environment. We are given these wonderful bodies by this planet, which gives us also the substance needed to fuel said body, and it also cleans the substances that we need. It gives us everything we need to enhance our substances. And so essentially we are the fruit of the tree, yielding fruit after his kind. I mean, we are essentially just the cycle of it, as above as below. We are no different than the fruit seed, because we're here to plant and bear fruit, and that's essentially that, and life goes on. Like I said, our main objective is to reproduce. It's kind of a lot of it's about. And like I said, we always take after the earth. I mean, it's all one and the same. But anyways, and the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind. There we go again. And the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And why does God saw that it was good? Why did he saw it was good? Why is it past tense? Well, I have a feeling like how they say God is within. I think it's like when the higher mind knows that truth is, we get that good feeling. We get that sense of it's right, almost like a feeling of like, I wouldn't say righteousness, but like it's similar to like that feeling of like good. And I think this is why it's always something along that lines is said, because it's almost like the higher mind knowing that it's all working as planned almost, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just going a little weird, but anyways, 13, let's get on 13. Let's see. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night. And so we have lights now dividing everything up. So this is where we get more into our spectrums. Now this is where we get the fun, the party begins. because now it's like it's like almost like a light hitting a prism almost. Now we're getting the party lights, we're getting all the spectrums, we're getting all the fun stuff, we're getting all the fun lights, we're getting the party, the disco ball is now rolling, where it was just kind of boring. It was just kind of a night and day thing, and now we it was just that and this thing. Now we got the disco ball to lighten up the life a little bit, to lighten up the party a little bit, I'd almost say. Let's see. What did I? And God said, "Let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years." And this is what gives us all like I said, the fun stuff. This is where the party begins, because now we get like the seasons, where things changing. Like I said, this is the fun stuff. This is the activity. And let there be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And that's what I mean, is we got the light, which gives us the life that we need. It's all, we aren't really much without the big old sun powering our power source, And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And just meaning that, like, we get the duality of it all. We get all the stars. We get all the fun stuff. We get the light and the lower light, which is almost like, I almost see as like the higher mind and the lower mind. We're gifted both. It's just how it is. And also, you could almost say like the sun and the moon too as well. And it's just that it goes back to the duality of it all, the magnetism of the two spinning. It's just kind of how we do a lot of our math, and how the equation of the law of nature in itself is written and stuff. But anyways, alrighty. And God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heavens. Meaning that we're getting a little friends and family now. We're getting the beings, the things that crawl and move. This is the essence of like the evolution itself. I don't know why there's always been a divide between the book and the religious way and science, but it says right here that they're appearing, that they're coming to be. Like this is evolution right here. This is what they're saying. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy though. I am. Don't answer that. Anyways, let's see. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas. Let the fowl multiply in the earth. And this is just the evolution. This is just everything multiplying everywhere, everything growing. It's just how it is. It's evolution. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the beginning of the beginning of the smaller organisms. It's all building blocks onto something great and grand. It's almost like the snake eating itself in a way. You know what I mean? What goes around comes around. Um, I was, yeah, we'll get into that a little later. Get into my conspiracy theories a little later. Anyways, and the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle and the creepy things, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. This one also threw me for a loop. And beast of the earth after his kind. I don't know. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominance over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of this of the air, and of the cattle, and over all the earth, and over all every creepy thing that creepeth upon the earth. Meaning that, eventually you know what happened. We all ended up as the epitome of the creations on this planet. We ended up as top of the food chain. We are the dominant ones. That's all it's saying, is after the evolution of things, man became dominant to rise up. So God created man in his own image. And in the image of God created he him. Meaning it's vice versa. And this is what I mean. It's just the snake eating its own tail. Essentially we are the same itself. Male and female created he them. Meaning that, the duality of the male and the female, and we created them, the people. We created without the male and the female, there would be no us. None of us would exist, and that's all it's saying, is that you need one and the other to become, to spread and multiply. And God blessed them, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominance over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the living things that moveth upon the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth. Meaning that, everything we have here, essentially, needs to seed itself and needs to reproduce, and that's all it's saying, is that it's given us the seeds to plant and to learn agriculture and to build off of from. If we weren't giving those seeds of life, then we really wouldn't be here. Agriculture really helped us build quite quickly and abundantly. And every tree in which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth where there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. Which it is. In the evening and in the morning were the sixth day. And essentially, everything that we do eat is good. I'm sure you all have your favorite foods. I sure do. But yeah, it just essentially is just telling you how we went from nothing, evolution happened. It like speed runs it in like one chapter, but it's speeding it up to get to the story. It's just kind of giving you a quick background. It'll give you more of the background later throughout the story, but it's trying to give you a little quick glimpse of where we're at and what's happening in this adventure. And essentially, it's just, explaining how the Big Bang worked and how things came to be and how we got trees and vegetation, and we started getting animals, and then we started getting beasts, and then so therefore men started finding, seeds and then eating those, and then we eventually started, venturing out and started eating meat and things like that. And so it's saying is, it's just going through, basically like, going from basic cavemen to being more civilized and whatnot. So, but yeah, I'll continue chapter 2 next time. So, bye.